These moments could redefine everything we understand about our position in the universe. Right now, as you watch, the interstellar traveler known as 3I Atlas is reaching its closest approach to the Sun, the point astronomers call perihelion. This is a vital stage, and what is currently unfolding is unlike any event scientists have ever witnessed. This is no ordinary comet. 3I Atlas is acting in ways that challenge every established model of celestial mechanics. It is shifting its tail, radiating peculiar colors, and traversing the void at a velocity that shouldn't even be possible. Some label it a natural drifter from a distant star. Others, including one of the most courageous astrophysicists at Harvard, suspect it could be something engineered, something built. Now, fresh data from the James Webb Telescope, Hubble, and various ground-based observatories are pointing toward one chilling conclusion. What is happening with 3I Atlas right now might be humanity's greatest discovery, or our final warning. The interstellar anomaly. When 3I Atlas was first spotted in July 2025 by the Atlas Survey in Chile, its strangeness was immediately apparent. Its orbit wasn't merely stretched, it was hyperbolic. It wasn't orbiting the Sun like the planets, comets, or asteroids we recognize. It was just passing through. This confirmed it as only the third interstellar object ever seen, following Oumuamua in 2017 and Borisov in 2019. Yet, even among those rare visitors, 3I Atlas was unique. Moving at over 210,000 kilometers per hour, it became the fastest object of its kind on record. Its path would bring it remarkably close, just $1.36 from the Sun and eventually $1.80 from Earth. Close enough to analyze every detail. The initial observations left the scientific community speechless. The object's light signature failed to match any known asteroid or comet. It was far too reflective, too structured, and far too stable under the Sun's intense radiation. Whatever 3I Atlas is, we have never seen its like before, defying physics. As it neared the Sun, telescopes began detecting anomalies that sent ripples through the world of astronomy. Hubble identified something unprecedented, an anti-tail, a brilliant jet of material streaming toward the Sun instead of away from it. Weeks later, this anti-tail abruptly flipped, becoming a standard tail pointing outward. The shift was so sudden and symmetrical that observers wondered if they were seeing controlled propulsion. While the Keck Observatory and the Nordic Optical Telescope confirmed the transition, James Webb found something even more bizarre. The coma of 3I Atlas was composed of 87% carbon dioxide and 9% carbon monoxide, with only 4% water. No comet in our system shares this makeup. It is nearly bone dry, yet it glows in the infrared as if it were radiating internal heat. Even more strange, spectroscopy showed a massive CO2 cloud stretching 350,000 kilometers, wider than Jupiter. Within it were traces of hydrogen, cyanide, and high levels of nickel with almost no iron. While possibly natural, one scientist noted these resemble industrial ratios. The unbreakable visitor. Many expected 3I Atlas to disintegrate at perihelion, as so many comets do. Instead, it did the unthinkable. It survived. Not a single piece broke off. In fact, it seemed to emerge even stronger. Observers watched as a powerful solar coronal mass ejection hit it directly, a burst that should have vaporized a fragile body. 3I Atlas didn't flinch. It absorbed the energy and maintained its course, its surface temperature stabilizing as if it were designed for the heat. Its long, thin shape mirrored Oumuamua, looking almost aerodynamic. But unlike Oumuamua's chaotic tumbling, 3I Atlas remained perfectly steady, reflecting light with a negative polarization that no known natural object possesses. It earned the nickname the Unbreakable Visitor. Harvard's Avi Loeb eventually placed it in Category 4 of a scale for extraterrestrial technology, suggesting a 40% chance it is artificial. While some call this speculation, each new anomaly makes that number feel less like a guess and more like a prophecy. The maneuver. Right now, 3I Atlas is performing a maneuver that could change everything. If the object accelerates beyond what gravity predicts, it means only one thing: it is under control. Using a gravity source to gain massive speed, known as the Oberth effect, is a common tactic for spacecraft. If 3I Atlas executes this, it will gain enough kinetic energy to slingshot out of the system or redirect toward Earth. NASA has quietly activated its planetary defense network, involving 227 observatories, officially labeled as a training exercise. The timing, however, is suspicious. When rumors surfaced that radio telescopes caught a consistent signal synced with the object's orbit, the internet erupted. Was it a machine older than our civilization whispering across the void? The deliberate breaking. Days after passing perihelion, the impossible occurred. 3I Atlas slowed down. This wasn't caused by drag or solar wind, but in a way that seemed intentional. Data from NASA and the ESA showed a consistent reduction in speed over 20 hours. It was as if the object had gently hit the brakes. Natural objects do not resist gravity with such precision. This object, hundreds of meters wide, performed a maneuver smoother than any human spacecraft. It happened exactly as it hit the thermal equilibrium zone, suggesting something inside was regulating its temperature and adjusting its path. That same week, a Japanese research array picked up a structured, narrowband signal, a repeating series of 3 pulses every 247 seconds. Independent teams in Italy, Chile, and South Africa confirmed it. The signal was constant, locked to an internal clock, and showed signs of intentional encoding. An internal leak suggested the pulses carried harmonics in the hydrogen band, the universal frequency for interstellar talk. Something wanted to be noticed. The message in the light. The scientific world fractured. Some saw a probe. Others clung to natural explanations. But when the James Webb Telescope detected an unnatural polarization on the surface, alternating planes of light modulating in rhythm with the radio pulses, denial became difficult. Then, on August 29th, the object's trajectory shifted by 0.11 degrees, aligning perfectly with the outer planets. It wasn't a random drift, it was choreographed. 3I Atlas then emitted a 2.8-second burst of ultraviolet light, aimed precisely toward a region between Vega and Lyra, the same area where the 1977 WOW signal originated. Then, everything went dark. We remember you. Though officially declared lost, a fragment of data remained in the final milliseconds of that UV burst. It wasn't noise, it was geometry, a 3D lattice resembling a double helix. Avi Loeb called it a cosmic signature of intent. It wasn't a message to read, but a code to experience. When independent researchers ran this waveform through quantum simulators, a massive harmonic emerged before the system crashed. The final phrase, translated by the AI, read, "We remember you." The message spread quickly before being scrubbed from databases. Officially, it's just a comet. Unofficially, the final signal may have been an activation. 2 months later, echoes of that harmonic are being detected, not from deep space, but from within our own solar system. Something has answered. Maybe 3I Atlas didn't come to watch us. Maybe it came to wake us up. If this makes you wonder what is truly out there, don't look away. Subscribe and turn on notifications. We explore the discoveries the world isn't ready for. When that signal returns, you'll want to be here when the universe answers back. When 3I Atlas reached perihelion, many expected it to disintegrate under the sun's radiation, as countless comets have before. Instead, it did the opposite. It survived completely intact. No fragments, no debris. In fact, it emerged seemingly stronger. Observers noted that a coronal mass ejection from the sun struck directly along its path, a blast powerful enough to vaporize fragile bodies instantly. Yet 3I Atlas barely reacted. It absorbed the impact and continued on course, its surface temperature rising briefly before stabilizing, as though it had been engineered to endure such conditions. Its elongated shape, nearly 10:1, mirrored that of Oumuamua, long, thin, almost aerodynamic. But unlike Oumuamua, which tumbled chaotically, 3I Atlas remained perfectly stable. It reflected light with a rare negative polarization, a property no known natural object possesses. Scientists began referring to it as the unbreakable visitor. That's when some theorists, including Harvard's Avi Loeb, placed it into Category 4 of his extraterrestrial likelihood scale, ranking interstellar objects by their probability of being artificial. According to Loeb, 3I Atlas carried a 40% chance of being technological in origin. Critics dismissed that as speculation. But with every new anomaly, that percentage felt less like science fiction and more like a warning. Right now, 3I Atlas is executing the maneuver physicists have been anxiously waiting for. If it accelerates beyond what solar gravity predicts, it would confirm only one thing: control. This maneuver, known as the Oberth effect, is a technique spacecraft use to gain extreme speed by firing propulsion near a massive gravity source. In this case, the Sun. If 3I Atlas performs it, the resulting energy gain would be impossible for a natural object, enough to eject it from the solar system, or worse, alter its trajectory toward Earth. Astronomers across the globe are watching, calculating, waiting. So far, no confirmed deviation has been announced, but the data is still streaming in. Behind the scenes, NASA quietly activated its planetary defense network, coordinating 227 observatories worldwide, officially labeled as a training exercise. But the timing raised eyebrows. When rumors spread that radio telescopes had detected a faint yet consistent signal synchronized with 3I Atlas's orbit, the internet erupted. Was it interference? A call home? Or something else entirely? A whisper from a machine older than our civilization? Days after 3I Atlas completed perihelion, the impossible happened. It slowed down, not due to drag, not solar wind, not gravity, but in a way that appeared intentional. Tracking data from NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory and the European Space Agency revealed a measurable deceleration of 0.08 meters per second squared, sustained for nearly 20 hours. It was as if the object had gently applied brakes. Natural objects don't do that. The slowdown occurred precisely as it crossed the thermal equilibrium zone, where absorbed solar energy equals internal heat. The implication was terrifying. Something inside 3I Atlas appeared to be responding to its environment, regulating temperature and possibly adjusting course. That same week, Japan's Mid-Sahara Deep Space Radio Observatory detected a narrowband signal from the object's direction. It was faint, but structured, a repeating sequence of 3 pulses followed by a pause, cycling every 247 seconds. The same interval recorded months earlier when the object was hidden behind the Sun. Initially dismissed as noise or interference, the signal was soon confirmed by independent teams in Chile, Italy, and South Africa. It was real. Even more disturbing was its stability. It didn't fluctuate with solar activity or cosmic background noise. It remained locked, as if governed by an internal clock. Frequency analysis revealed phase coherence, a hallmark of intentional encoding. NASA declined public comment, but a leaked SETI Institute memo revealed faint harmonics in the hydrogen band, the universal frequency long theorized for interstellar communication. Someone, or something, wanted to be noticed. The scientific world split overnight. One side argued 3I Atlas was the first physical evidence of an interstellar probe, possibly technology from a long-dead civilization. The other side insisted nature could mimic intelligence given enough time and data. But denial became harder as new observations arrived. James Webb, reoriented from its L2 orbit, detected an unnatural polarization pattern on the object's surface. It reflected light in alternating planes, as though layered materials were modulating reflection deliberately. Microsecond variations matched the rhythm of the radio pulses. At the same time, observatories in Chile observed the tail split into 2 distinct streams, crossing at a perfect 90-degree angle. That geometry does not occur naturally. It looked as though 3I Atlas was using its own vaporized gases to transmit optical signals. Then came the event that changed everything. On August 29th, as 3I Atlas moved beyond Earth's orbital plane, its trajectory shifted by 0.11 degrees, small, yet deliberate. The new path aligned perfectly with the ecliptic plane of the outer planets. For 27 hours, its projected course formed a straight line through Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and beyond. During this alignment, telescopes recorded a pulsing luminescence from its core, fluctuating at intervals matching planetary orbital resonances, as if the object were calibrating itself to the harmonic structure of our solar system. Then, for the first time, it emitted a visible flash. A 2.8-second ultraviolet burst, powerful enough to ionize the surrounding solar wind. The flash wasn't diffused, it was directional, aimed deep into interstellar space. When scientists traced its vector, it pointed precisely toward the region between Vega and Lyra, the same area where the famous WOW signal was detected in 1977. Then, silence. The pulses stopped. The glow vanished. 3I Atlas went dark. For weeks, the world watched. Every telescope, radar array, and tracking system locked onto its last known position. Nothing. No light. No heat. No reflection. NASA officially declared it optically lost. But in the raw data from the James Webb Space Telescope, something remained. A fragment of light captured milliseconds before the ultraviolet burst faded. When reconstructed, it revealed an interference pattern embedded within the light itself. Not noise. Structure. The modulation contained repeating frequency ratios seen in hydrogen transitions, planetary resonances, and, most disturbingly, the electromagnetic signature of Earth's atmosphere. It wasn't a flash. It was a message. Waveform analysis at the Harvard-Smithsonian Center for Astrophysics revealed prime number sequences arranged into a three-dimensional lattice, interlocking spirals resembling a double helix. Geometry. A blueprint. Avi Loeb called it a cosmic signature of intent, a form of resonant encoding that stored information in energy patterns rather than language. NASA classified the data immediately, but not before independent researchers mirrored the waveform in quantum resonance simulators. When they did, a harmonic emerged, growing stronger with each cycle, until the simulation abruptly inverted and shut down. Before it ended, the AI translation module produced a final phrase. "We remember you." The message spread briefly, then vanished. Databases were wiped. SETI went silent. Officially, 3I Atlas was declared a natural interstellar comet. Unofficially, whispers grew louder that its final transmission wasn't a farewell, but an activation. 2 months later, observatories began detecting faint echoes of the same harmonic, not from Vega or Lyra, but from deep within our own solar system. Some call it interference. Others say it's a heliospheric echo. But a small group of scientists believes something far more profound. That whatever sent 3I Atlas didn't come to threaten us, but to remind us that intelligence may not exist outside the universe, but within it, woven into the harmony of light, matter, and consciousness. Because maybe 3I Atlas didn't come to observe us. Maybe it came to wake us up. And if this story made you question what's really out there, whether something is watching us not from above, but from the fabric of reality itself, don't look away. Subscribe to this channel. We uncover the discoveries the world isn't ready to face. Turn on notifications, because when that signal returns, you want to be here when the universe answers back. Rocket. I'd love to hear what you think about this, so drop a comment below. If you enjoyed our conversation today, please share this video and subscribe to help the channel grow. Every bit of support counts.